TNA Wrestling heading back to the Lone Star State. TNA Genesis, Sunday, January 19th, so about a week and a half away. They will be up in the Metroplex at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland. Tickets are available, curtiscolwellcenter.com. If you plan to be there live, and you should, especially if you're in the Metroplex, doors open 5 p.m. Central. The event starts at 6 p.m. Central. If you cannot be there, get it on pay-per-view or TNA Plus with a start time of 7 p.m. Central. On that night, the TNA World Tag Team Championships will be on the line as the Rascals, Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel, friends of this show, of course, known them for a long time, will challenge my guests joining me on the hotline. For 4 decades, these two individuals have innovated the art form of tag team wrestling. They have 13 World Tag Team titles among them, 8 times WWE World Tag Team Champions, former WCW World Tag Team Champions, former Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. And for the 3rd time, they are your current reigning and defending TNA World Tag Team Champions. Lovingly referred to as Team Extreme at one time, it is Matt and Jeff, the Hardys. Fellas, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
Thank you for having us. We're doing great. We're down here in Texas, doing a little promotion before, but we are very, very excited about stepping in the ring with the Rascals on Sunday, January the 19th. You know, the Rascals truly do remind Jeff and I of younger us. You know, we look at it as like a mirror reflection of us back in the late 1990s or the early 2000s. And we're a little older, we're a little slower, but we're excited to get in the ring and mix it up with them. And we're going to throw some experience on them they've never seen before.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. I want to ask you, so 30 years, it's been over 30 years since you started wrestling as a tag team. And, you know, I read off all your accolades and, you know, match of the year. Of course, you revolutionized with the TLC matches with the Dudleys and Edge and Christian. Mm-hmm. Talk about your longevity, reflect on it, and just what it means to you here in now starting 2025 to still be active in the ring after everything y'all have seen and done in professional wrestling.
Well, me personally, this last time getting sober, I'd never really tried ice baths. So I'd been about a year sober or so, and I said, let me give this ice bath a try. And the first time I did it, I stayed in there about 2 or 3 minutes and went under the very last minute, held my breath for as long as I could, came up out of the water, and I was like, whoa, it's like this crazy sensation, like in a good way. I was like, whoa, there's something to this. And so for about 2 years now, I've been doing ice baths, and I turned Matt onto the ice baths as well. And I think that's playing a major role in our longevity today.
Really? Okay. Ice baths. I've worked in sports radio for a long time, so I've been in athletic training rooms at different campuses. So, and you see the athletes go into the ice baths to, you know, kind of rehab and that type of thing. And I've heard such good things about them. I want to ask you this, and I do not want this anytime soon. But like I work with Dustin Rhodes here in the Austin area with his Rhodes Wrestling Academy, Rhodes Wrestling Association as their commentator. So and he and I are the same age. Yeah. We're around that same age. By the way, Matt, welcome to the 50-year-old club.
Thank you. Thank you.
Has the thought of stepping back even crossed your mind?
You know, I think if you were to ask us this a couple years ago, maybe it would have, but just this run in TNA and just the way we both feel physically, like you said, these ice baths, the inflammation is down, and just our bodies feel better, and it's a ritual we do every single morning whenever we get up, and we're definitely dedicated to it. It's in our routine, no doubt. Now I don't think so. I don't think we're putting any kind of concrete amount of time on this. We're gonna ride the spiral until it ends. You know what I mean? We're gonna give and give and give everything we have until we can't do this anymore. And I love the fact that Dustin is still going so hard. Dustin, by the way, is an amazing guy. Huge fan of Dustin. Huge fan of Dustin, his story about getting sober and his sobriety and how serious he takes it. And I just love the fact that he's still killing it in the ring. He's killing it every time he steps out there. So he's very inspiring for an older guy or a guy that's aged a little more like I am. But yeah, I think Jeff and I don't think we're necessarily putting any kind of date or window on when to hang it up, when to hang up the boots. I think we're just gonna go until we don't feel like we can't go anymore.
I like it. I love it. I mean, you had, especially this weekend between Hiroshi Tanahashi, he's starting his farewell tour, and John Cena starting his farewell tour. So it comes up. So I got to ask. So, contrast. This is your second run in TNA.
Mm-hmm.
Contrast this run to your previous run.
You want to take that, Jim?
Yeah, I guess as far as me, I guess it's my third run. But yeah,
Third run.
Our second run. But man, I had no idea Matt was going to go back to TNA, and I finished a workout one morning, went upstairs, and my wife said, "Did you know Matt was going back to TNA?" I said, "No, I had no idea." So then naturally, I watched the footage, and I was like, "Wow, that's really cool." I just never knew that was going to happen. But then I kind of rewinded my memory bank and said, "Oh my God, I had some amazing moments in TNA. Some really cool memories and moments were created, and did some really cool stuff." So I was like, "Oh my God, this must be meant to be." But then my AEW, sure enough, contract ran out the night before Matt showed up. Before Matt had the main event match with Moose. So it was perfect timing for me to go back into the dimension of a total nonstop action.
Yeah. Well, and talk about those moments, Matt. I want to talk to you something that captivated the wrestling world during your previous run, the Broken Universe. I mean, that was must see television. It was so fun because when I first saw it, and I'm an old school wrestling guy. I'm watching, talking about tag team wrestling. I was a big fan, of course, the Road Warriors, Midnight Express, Rock and Roll Express. So I'm thinking in those terms. And then I see you break out this Broken Universe. First view, I was going, what the hell is this? But then it just grew on me to where I had to see what was happening next. Was that something that you had kind of in the back of your mind over, a couple of years, or just give me kind of what birthed that Broken Universe?
They had told me with Big Money Matt, I was enjoying doing that. I was really working well as a heel. Mm-hmm. And they said that they wanted to switch the title to a babyface, which I was fine with. I liked the thing I did with EC3 whenever we had the match. It was a double turn in January of 2016. It's one of my favorite matches. I think it's one of the more underrated matches of my career. And they said they were going to do a switch, and eventually Drew McIntyre was going to cash in his Money in the Bank deal for me. Feast or Fired is what it was called. Right. And I started putting some thought. I said, okay, because we're doing this pretty quick to Big Money Matt, I think I might, evolve again and like freshen something up. And what did I tell you, Jeff, whenever we were doing that program after that?
About when you were going to change?
Yes.
I had no idea what he was talking about, but he just said, "Yeah, you're going to hit me with like a big swanton or something, man, and I'm going to dye a blonde streak in my hair, and I'm going to be different."
And so I think what I'm going to say, I think what I said to him too, I said, I'm gonna act like you have broken something inside of me where like my brain has unlocked and I have more control of my brain, and I'm aware of like where my soul has been in the past. And like I'm aware of the different bodies or vessels that my soul, as I would call essences, Broken Matt, has been to. And a lot of that came from, I was watching a lot of series TV at that time. True Detective was one thing, Dexter, True Blood. And I thought vampires are so cool. It's so cool that they're immortal and you see them live in different stages of time and how there's different clothing styles. They have different hairstyles. And I was like, well, you can't obviously be immortal and look the same forever. I said, but what if there's some kind of way you could play into that? And that was kind of where that was the birthplace of what started the thought behind Broken Matt, and a character who's aware and cognizant of where his soul has been and the different bodies it has been in. So that's kind of how that started. But you were talking about the difference between that time and this time. Obviously, looking back there, I knew I was at a point where I had to evolve again. I had to, reinvent myself, and I did it with Big Money Matt. I did it with Broken Matt, and it caught on a lot. We did the whole the whole Let's Break Jeff and turn him into Brother Nero, and that was hugely successful. And it was so much fun, and it really got over, and it captivated. And Jeff and I, we had been kind of jonesing to try and do that at AEW, but we never got the opportunity. Like we were ready to turn heel or do whatever else. And we were told like, well, we can't let you turn heel. You get one of the top 2 or 3 pops every night you go out. And it's like, well, then do something with us, So that's just what it was, and that was frustrating to a degree. But now that we're here, we wanted to win the titles, in the classic Hardy Boy mode, as we did. But now we are planning on evolving. So I think this has been very different because it's been a throwback to classic Hardy Boys. But I think it's going to get exciting in 2025 because we have a brand new, different evolution and a brand new reinvention of ourselves that we both want to try together. Something that's a little different, but something that's also going to stand out as being very character driven.
Well, and that's one of the aspects that keeps guys like the Undertaker, Adam Copeland.
Yeah.
You guys know when it's time to, as you said, evolve, to tweak the character a little bit, tweak your presentation in the ring to captivate the fans, give them something different. And I love watching that. So
Thank you.
I want to ask you, because you've both mentioned it. You've both battled personal demons in your careers, in your lives. You've come out stronger. Right now, if it just feels, and it comes through on the screen, how happy you are and how healthy you are. And I've worked a little bit with that industry. Just give me the reflection on what keeps you strong, what keeps you going in that direction. And I just reflect on coming out of those demons on the other side stronger and happier.
For me, this last time getting sober, I've never like paid attention or even noticed like politics backstage in professional wrestling until this time, like getting sober. I'm like, oh my God, especially I'm getting older in this life, and oh, now I see that people are fighting for their spots. And this is crazy. I don't think I'm cut out for this to be some kind of politician. And then it makes me go, wow, back during all those original TLC matches, who was doing the politicking, back then? But I don't think I've really ever needed it because I've been so over with the fans and had such genuine followers that believe in me and like me. And but yeah, just I've built my career up so big to burn it down time and time again, but this time I'm rebuilding to not burn it down. And that's what's so exciting about being back in TNA with Matt. Even in our most recent tables match, we wore like retro Hardy gear and we looked okay out there. We looked more than okay. We looked
I thought it looked great myself.
Right.
Thank you.
And then the swanton I did to end the match was so identical to the one I did to Devon Dudley at Madison Square Garden in the WWE's first ever tables match. And it was like, whoa, I was super happy and so stoked after that match. I was like, no, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. We are exactly where we're supposed to be in this professional wrestling world now.
Well, and Matt, I know family is big with you, and Jeff as well, but Matt, family support is vital to that as well, right?
Well, and also too, I mean, I look at things very differently now that I have young kids. I have responsibilities. I have people that are more important than me. I have a family I have to take care of. I have kids that I have to see through. And, my wife and I, we are very different. She's a New Yorker. She's Puerto Rican. She has that spicy, Hispanic Latin blood. And I'm very much a country boy. I like to go slow. I like to take my time and mosey, and she's New York minute, boom, 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 boom. But we both share the same goals. Like we want to raise these kids to make them good, decent, quality human beings, and put them out in the world and help them make the world a better place, help them, lead very positive lives. And that's very important. I think that's probably my most, that's the strongest factor, which is most motivating to me to keep everything together and be the best you can be.
Yeah. I was lucky enough to visit North Carolina last year, and beautiful state. I was in Greensboro, and just a great city. Had a little bit of a similar vibe to what we have here in Austin.
Right.
I just really enjoyed it. Beautiful state.
Thank you,
Jeff. I want to ask you about your music because, of course, you're big on music. How is that going? We've got this little music festival down here in Austin. It kicks off in about 2 months. South by Southwest. You may have heard of it.
Oh,
wow.
We need to get a showcase with you here in the
Oh,
ATX.
I love
Love
to.
that.
I forgot where I played, somewhere in Austin, where that strip or street where all the
Sixth
clubs are.
Street.
Yeah, I
Street,
played
yeah.
somewhere. I forget the name of the place, but I played there one night, and it was we loved it. But man, I've evolved. One exciting thing about being back in TNA, all my old original themes that I did myself and my producer from Nashville, we're going to record the first three or four, re-record the first three or four, and that's a goal of mine within this year. Sometime is to actually sing an entrance song on the way to a ring to have a match with my face painted. Then like all of my loves in this human life will kind of be at one with each other.
Yeah, I can imagine. I want to ask y'all, and both of you can answer this. So again, over 30 years, crossing 4 decades, you've wrestled everybody. You've wrestled for many companies. Is there a tag team you see today, wherever, doesn't it, WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, AEW, wherever? Is there a tag team you see today that you haven't worked with, but you would love to work with?
And the
I,
answer
I
might be the
know
same.
Matt mentioned this, like, and I hadn't really thought about it at all, but we never had a match with the Motor City Machine
Yeah,
Guns,
that,
you know.
Really?
they kind of stand out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and being that they're back in the E now, like killing it, and the Rascals was the other team, and we're about to
Right.
bring that into reality on January 19th here in Texas. Yeah, it was the Rascals and the Motor City Machine Guns that we had never had a match with, but this one with the Rascals is about to go down.
Right. Well, and that surprises me because Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, they've been tag team for a long time. I would
Mhm.
have figured y'all would have crossed paths eventually. That is a match we need to see.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will happen Sunday. Let's talk about the Rascals. Zachary Wentz, Trey Miguel. You talked about how similar they are to you, and I see it. I've watched them many times in person and on television. How much fun is that match going to be? And I don't want you to divulge any strategy, but could we see something spectacular out of that match coming on the 19th?
And I have a feeling we might end up having what the young kids call a banger. I think that's a good quality match nowadays. I think we might end up having one of those when it's all said and done. I mean, I think our strategy is pretty solid. We're gonna go very experience heavy on these guys because these guys, as we said before, we're a little older, we're a little slower, but these guys can move. They're lightning fast. And they're going to start trying to do these combos over and over and over. And we've been studying them. We're going to shut them down, shut them down, shut them down. That's what we plan on doing, man. And if the Rascals aren't careful, their plot will get twisted because the plot twist is something we're breaking out now, and they better watch out for it.
I love it. I think it's going to be a fantastic match. I'm rooting for all four of you just because like I said, I know Trey and Zach.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to interact with you guys in person on a couple occasions. Y'all been fantastic. Before I let you go, I want to let everybody know there is an event happening on, let's see, this is January 25th at O'Brien's in Temple, which is about
Yes.
45 minutes north of me. It's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
about 2 hours south of you.
Yeah.
Talk about O'Brien's at Temple. What's going on with the Hardys at O'Brien's?
Yeah, we are having what is being built, and we've kind of branded it as a Hardy Party, and it's something that the guy who books us and our promoter puts up. I have a podcast which I do every single week. It's called The Extreme Life of Matt Hardy,
That's
where
with
I talk
John Alba, correct?
John Alba, correct?
Love John to death. Yeah.
Yeah, man, he's a good dude and super knowledgeable about wrestling and sports. It's crazy the knowledge he has, and we do it every single week where we talk about some of our past moments. We talk about other events in wrestling. We talk about current things in wrestling. I love breaking that stuff down. So I'm going to be doing a live podcast for about an hour, and then whenever that is done, Jeff will be coming on and he'll be doing a live acoustic concert. So that's going to be happening at O'Brien's in Temple. We're really excited about it.
That's awesome. O'Brien's Irish Pub in Temple, January 25th. I believe the website O'Brien. Just search O'Brien's in Temple, and you'll see the details, how to get in, and all that good stuff. TNA Genesis Sunday, January 19th at the Curtis Colwell Center in Garland. Tickets are available. CurtisColwellCenter.com. 5 o'clock doors, 5 p.m. Central. Event starts at 6 p.m. Central. If you can't be there, catch it on TNA Plus or on pay-per-view starting at 7 p.m. Central. And then you've got a live Impact coming Thursday, January 23rd at the Boeing Center at Techport in San Antonio. and then Impact tapings the following night, same place. Check all that out, TNAWrestling.com for all the details. Matt and Jeff, I have watched y'all for practically your entire career. Love watching you. As I said, I've been lucky enough to meet you quite a few times. Matt, you even broke me one time, I love that to death. It was you were here for Wrestle Circus back in 2017, I think,
Yeah.
and you and I had a broken moment backstage. It was great.
Yeah. With Colt Cabana.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Anyway, you guys, I wish you all the best. I hope you stick around for a while. Represent us old dudes. Matt and Jeff Hardy, thank you so much. And all the best to you. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you, man. Thanks for a wonderful chat. It was so great talking to you, and all the best to you, my friend.